If Christmas drained your emergency fund or you're staring at a balance of zero in your account, you are not alone and you're not behind. In this video, I'll walk you through 10 simple ways women over 50 can rebuild a $1,000 emergency fund quickly and calmly without extreme budgeting, side hustles, or stress. So here we go. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Carrie Stone, and this is Carry On, where we talk all things money movement and mindset. And today, we're talking money. And I want you to hear this first. An emergency fund is not about being good with money. It's about sleeping better at night. And $1,000 is enough to keep a small emergency from becoming a big crisis. Whether it's a $500 deductible, tires that need to be replaced on your car, or a last-minute flight that you have to take, having that $1,000 emergency fund can keep you from blowing your budget and losing your peace of mind. And one of the best ways I have found to build a $1,000 emergency fund is this first tip, the $100 times 10 method. The fastest way to save $1,000 is to stop thinking about it as $1,000. Instead, you just want to save $100 at a time, 10 times. I first learned how to use this technique when I was living in Nashville years ago. And I had two different opportunities to help people raise money. One was a young couple who had 3 disabled teenage boys, and they needed a new van, but it was $3,000 and they didn't have $3,000. So I said to them, $3,000 is nothing. That's just 30 people giving you $100. Who doesn't want to help a family like yours? So we went about raising the money, and in no time, we found 30 people to each donate $100, and that family had their van. The next opportunity I had was a couple who has devoted their lives to serving God, and they have lived on very little and have just poured out everything that they have. Well, they lost their place to live, and they didn't know what they were going to do. And I said, you need to buy a house because you don't have any retirement. Like, you need to know how you're going to take care of yourself when you get older. And they thought there was no way we could do this. So we went to the bank. We found out we needed $50,000 for a down payment. And they're like, this is never going to happen. And I said, it is absolutely going to happen. $50,000 is either 50 people giving $1,000 each, or it's 500 people giving $100 each. Like, we can do that. You've been serving this community for decades. And we did it. We did it $100 at a time in both of those situations. It was just $100 at a time. And that's how you're going to build your $1,000 emergency fund, $100 at a time. It works. Every $100 you deposit is a win. And one thing you want to do as you start building this fund is you want to make sure you start a separate account that is not attached to any of your other accounts. And name it something that inspires you. Your emergency peace fund or your sleeping fund, whatever makes you feel motivated to want to put money in that account. And one powerful way to save $100 at a time is with this next step. Tip number 2, cancel or pause 3 subscriptions. Subscriptions are just a way of life for us now. I just got a new scale, and immediately as I was getting the app, it wanted me to upgrade to a subscription. And of course I didn't, because I don't want yet another subscription. And it seems like they're all like $79 or $99 for the year. And I don't want to have a bunch of subscriptions. So one of the things you can do is look at how many of those you have fallen into and just pause or cancel 3 of them. Most of us are leaking money on subscriptions that we don't even realize. We're not even using them. Streaming services, apps, memberships, just pause or cancel 3 of them. You can usually free up $50 to $150 a month doing that. And if you do that and you're miserable, you can always restart them later after you have your $1,000 emergency fund. You may find what I found, that you just don't miss them at all. And instead, you start using your mind for things that are better and more productive, instead of just being entertained every moment of the day. The savings from paused or canceled subscriptions is amazing, but nothing is better than this next one. Number 3 is the found money rule. Any money that you did not expect does not get spent. It goes immediately into your emergency fund, not through your bank accounts. It needs to go immediately into your savings. Tax refunds, cash back, rebates, gift money, it all goes straight into your emergency fund. If it wasn't planned, it doesn't disappear. And much of what you would have wasted that money on probably would end up in this next category. Tip number 4, sell 5 things that you already own. Look around your home. Find those clothes that still have tags. Gather up those unused kitchen gadgets that you thought you just had to have, but you never use. Find small furniture or old electronics and just sell them. Put it up on Facebook Marketplace or eBay. Get rid of your stuff. We did this when our daughter got married. We had a very short period of time to put together her wedding and to pay for it. And so we just sold a bunch of stuff that we thought nobody would ever want. And we paid for a large majority of her wedding selling stuff out of our house. It was eye-opening. Currently, I am in the midst of a no-spend month. And the other day, I was in my workout room and I noticed my daughter's twin bed with her side table is in there. And I thought, why are we doing this? We have no small children that are coming to visit right now. And every time I have both kids here, my son has to sleep on this twin bed, and he's a giant. So I told my husband, let's sell the bed and the nightstand, and instead we'll buy a really good quality blow-up air mattress that we have when company comes. So now we will clear out space, declutter that room, and get something that is more functional for our needs. So sell your stuff. You may think nobody wants it. You will be shocked. Selling is great, but saving is even better. And you can do that with this next step. Tip number 5, do one no-spend weekend. One no-spend weekend a month can save you anywhere from $150 to $300, depending on how much you go out on the weekends and waste your money. So eat what you have, watch something at home, go for hikes or walks out in nature, do free things, and still enjoy your life. You don't have to spend money to have fun. I started doing a 1-month no-spend challenge about 5 years ago, and it has been so beneficial that it is now a tradition in our house. And every January, I do a no-spend month. And every January, we save money, we get back on track with our spending habits, and it makes me analyze like how I want to be spending money the rest of the year. So taking that time to break spending habits is just so powerful, and I cannot encourage it enough. So whether you do a no-spend weekend, a no-spend week, or a no-spend month, challenge yourself, make it a game, and have a good time and save some money and get that emergency fund built back up again. And remember, when you're doing a no-spend, it's temporary. You know, this isn't punishment. This isn't going to last forever. It's temporary, and you can do anything for a short period of time. Now, quick pause for just a second. If this already feels doable to you, I created a free 1-page emergency plan to help you actually follow through. It's simple, printable, and specifically designed for women over 50. You can download it by using the link below. And then come right back, because we still have 5 more easy ways to save that $1,000 emergency fund. And while you're downloading that plan, would you help a girl out and hit that like and subscribe button? It's free. It costs you nothing, but it lets me know that you like material like this so that I know how to better serve you in the future. So thank you for your love, for your support. Now on with the list. Tip number 6, the 1-month grocery reset. For 1 month only, simplify your groceries. Plan 5 repeat meals with uncomplicated ingredients. Simple meals with simple ingredients. Shop your pantry and freezer first, and only buy perishables. You will skip all impulse buys. So no snacks, no ice cream, no sodas, just the necessities. Most women can save $100 to $200 without feeling deprived. This next step can feel intimidating and make some people feel like they're begging. But I'm going to set this up for you to not only be doable, but also to help you see that it is a reasonable request. So tip number 7 is to negotiate one bill. Call one company, your phone, your internet, your insurance, and just ask them this one question. I've been a loyal customer for this long. Are there any current promotions available to help reduce my monthly bill? It's just that simple. The worst they can do is say no. This 5-minute call can often save you $30 to $80 a month. I have found it to be so profitable that I pick one bill every single month that I try to reduce, and I usually end up saving something. So do this every month for a year and watch the savings add up. But don't forget, when you get those savings, transfer those savings into your emergency fund. Saving money on your bills is great, but another great way to save money is with this next tip. So tip number 8, redirect one habit expense. We all fall into habits, and it is interesting when we go back and evaluate how much they actually cost us, how much it adds up. So whether your habit is a daily coffee or Amazon impulse buys or buying drive-through meals, for 30 days, every time you don't do that habit, take that money and immediately put it in your emergency fund. I don't know about you, but I've noticed how expensive coffee has gotten. And I really saw it this past 2 months because I typically only drink lattes at Christmas time. And I like the peppermint mocha latte with 1/4 pump and heavy whipping cream from Starbucks. And that's like my go-to drink. And I noticed when I was traveling that it was really expensive, but I thought it was because I was traveling. And at Christmas, I go to the Starbucks at Safeway and I go to check out and she says $7.52. And I went, $7.52 for one grande drink. That was it. One drink for $7.52. If I did that every day or even 5 days a week, good night. That adds up so quickly. I've noticed even just getting a venti pike place with heavy whipping cream is almost $4. So, coffee's getting quite expensive to drink out, and it might be time to just fix your own at home. And when you do, every time you do, put that money into your emergency fund that you're not spending. So as I said earlier, I'm in the middle of doing a no spend month right now. So my husband's hair got out of control. He did not get it cut for Christmas like he was supposed to. And so I could not stand looking at it anymore, but it's our no spend month. So he couldn't go get it cut. So I said, okay, I'll cut it. And so I cut it and I was like, okay, you need to pay me now so we can put that money into our savings. And I made a deal with him. I said, I will cut your hair this year. And every time I do, you pay me and that money goes towards my car. And he was like, win-win, all works. So pay yourself instead of being a slave to your habits. And while you're saving that cash, you will find it helpful with tip number 9. Use cash for your variable spending. Using cash for groceries or fun money creates awareness without shame. When the cash is gone, the spending stops. No guilt, no spiraling. We did this at the beginning of our marriage. We did the Dave Ramsey envelope method, and we learned so much about each other and our spending habits by doing that. It was quite eye-opening. And we both still prefer using cash over cards because you think more about it when you're giving a $100 bill. Like if I've got a $100 bill, I don't like to break it. So I will really think about using that money when I'm out, as opposed to just pulling a card out and swiping it. It does something different mentally. And so using cash for your variable spending will make you think more. You are not going to go through the grocery store just dropping things in your cart willy-nilly when you're going to pay cash for it at the register because you don't want to be stuck there without enough money. So using cash for your groceries will make you think about everything that you're putting in your cart. Using cash to go out to eat will make you think about whether or not you want to go out. And when we did this early on, it really helped us determine how much we could go out and what we were going to do. Because if somebody invited us to lunch after church and our entertainment envelope was empty, it was empty. The answer was no. maybe next week. But it helped us to really zero in on what was important to us and what was worth the money. So use cash to gain control of your spending and to really learn about how you're spending and why you're spending. Now, you've built your fund back up. Yay! But you know life will happen and you're going to need that money. So this next step is vital to keeping your peace. Tip number 10, automate and protect it. Once you reach that $1,000, automate small deposits like $25 to $50. This keeps you from falling back to zero in your account again. Emergency funds are emotional safety nets. They're not math problems. And if you want help setting this up without overthinking it, the free one-page emergency fund is linked below. So make sure you grab yours. You can finish it in about 5 minutes. Now, you don't need to do all of these steps. Just pick 2 or 3 and start today. And comment emergency fund below if you're going to start, because I want to cheer you on every step of the way. And if you liked this video, you'll probably like this one right here. And until next time, carry on.